Raids are the cooperative aspirational endgame activity in Destiny. It's unlike the strike activity in that it requires cooperation, it requires communication. The activity is actually going to take you and your group of 5 buddies, it's 6 players, into a place that you've never been, a place you've never gone, and a place that you will return to frequently, and demand of you things that you've never even really been asked to do in a shooter before. What we wanted to understand was how to make an experience that married with the action game. How do we make something that leverages all of the feelings of the raiding that we understand from a game like Warcraft or EverQuest? Cooperation, relying on each other, teamwork. And how do you marry that with a game where you jump, shoot, have abilities, supers, grenades that you activate, like all of that stuff? And how do we bring those things together? And then, on top of all of that, create an activity where everyone in the activity has a job, they have a role. So some of that is a little bit more organic than it is to say, like, you're gonna tank this. Like, we're not doing that. We're not asking for classes who are like, oh, well, I'll be the DPS guy. Like, nope, all of your jobs to shoot guys. By convention, it's trying to build you guys into a group that forces you to work together or asks you to work together and to get through it. It's not an activity that we expected to get through first time through. Unlike a bunch of the other activities in Destiny where you begin the activity at, like, let's say you picked a level 22 strike playlist, everything in that activity is going to be level 22. It's going to be consistent. If you're level 26, you're going to have some relationship to it. You're going to be more powerful than that activity. In the raid, when the raid begins at level 25, it's not where it ends. Part of going through the raid is the journey of gearing up, acquiring, like, building your arsenal to react to the situations that it's going to ask you to go through. Bosses, obviously, we're gonna have big, cool bosses. I think that we've given people a taste in Strikes of what the bosses are and what they can do. The raid bosses are different. They're still big monsters, much like what you're gonna have seen. They're still scary, but they have a bunch of abilities that are unlike anything you've really experienced in a shooter before. Raids are a really big bet for us. I mean, it's a big risk because the activity requires you to have a group of 5 other friends to play with. Like, if the worst thing that happens is you get your group together and you all have a great time and make your way through the first difficulty level of the raid, like, wow, that's gonna be awesome. I bet you wanna come back. Hopefully the gear makes you wanna come back. Raids are just this one piece of the puzzle because they're the thing that sits at the end. They're the thing that a bunch of your goal is to get that gear. Like, the game sort of begins, and hopefully Destiny begins for a bunch of players at level 20. You can get into Strikes, so you're gearing up in the Strikes to get your character level up. After level 20, which you've earned through XP, that number's gonna change and its meaning's gonna change to you. This is about building an arsenal where you have all the weapon archetypes that you like, all the damage colors that you want to chew through enemies' shields. All of these things, you're gonna build an arsenal. The next part is a suite of activities that we're building that occupy different spaces on that spectrum. So that's where we get into the, what can I do today when I log in? What's the director got for me today? That's things like the daily story chapter. Like, when I log in each day, there are a couple of options of different stuff that I can do with XP bonuses because I want to continue to level up my character, my build, the talents on my gear, etc. Other stuff, we have these activities called Nightfall activities. Nightfall activities come in 2 flavors, daily and weekly. They have extremely exotic rewards. One of them awards a currency that lets you buy the most powerful arcane gear in the game. Things like, I think I talked about, the Cudgel of Xanthor before. It's stuff like that. These, like, crazy weapons. There's not a Cudgel of Xanthor in the game. It's just an example. Something like Hard Light, something like Bad Juju, a weapon that is rarely available. It's hard to find. And this is how you get the currency to do that. So another part of the end game for Destiny, in the same way that we're talking about activities for every mood, we want to have activities that occupy the range of challenge for you. If you're a fresh level 20, you can play the Nightfall daily activity at level 22, and it's going to be hard. Like, it's going to be challenging. But you could get through it, maybe. Maybe if you have some friends. The weekly Nightfall activity is something that pushes all the way out as far as the leveling allows you to go in Destiny. So it ends up occupying at the far end of the spectrum this extremely high gameplay investment challenge. Like, it's both the toughest guys we can throw at you, that's going to require the best gear, and it's going to have a bunch of modifiers on it that make it even harder. Like, if you're an Arc Titan and there is a modifier on the activity, all arc damage is dampened by 75%. whole bunch of stuff in your build that's gonna be bad. Like you're gonna be nerfed, and maybe it's gonna make you look at your character and go like, oh, I should go level my void build so I can still deal a bunch of damage with my grenades. Or I'm running arc weapons, like I should switch. I should go get a void shotgun. That'll be better for this activity. The end game is basically about finding the balance for us as we're trying to build the content between investment challenge, gameplay challenge, and at the far side, cooperation challenge. We want you to build a character, a legacy, something familiar that you look at and log into, and I certainly hope that that's what we're set up to deliver.